What's up, you guys? Welcome into the show. It's Battle from 105.9 The Rock, iHeartRadio stations across the country, and of course, the iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast, where you can subscribe on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. Today is going to be a great show. Why? It's because we're joined by a special guest, Johnny Wrestling. Johnny Gargano is on the show.
Boom.
Johnny, my man, how are you doing, sir?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I am doing good. How are those Browns doing?
Oh, look, if you asked me last Sunday how we're doing, great. If you asked me 3 days removed from last Sunday, we'll see.
I mean, you got the Steelers on Sunday.
We do have literally probably the biggest game. Maybe I don't want to be dramatic about it, but the biggest game in franchise history. The fact we can be 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
We found out our starting quarterback is gone for the year now. DTR. Starting at quarterback, rookie. But I will say this, our defense is one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
And we have something that no one else has, and that's Myles Garrett. And Myles Garrett can take over games, and I have all the faith in the world in him.
Oh, I watched it when he played my Titans. So, I mean, hey, if you want, we'll give you Tannehill since he's not playing anymore.
So people, look, that's where I'm deep into Browns Twitter. Or X, Browns X,
whatever it is.
Like they are so much so like, oh, can Ryan Tannehill just request a release and then we'll sign Ryan Tannehill and get him?
Mm-hmm.
So Browns fans would welcome Ryan Tannehill with open arms at this point.
And I think Titans fans would be gladly to hand him over to you, just the way Will Levis has been playing. And, speaking of, the Titans and Tennessee and Nashville, WWE is coming to the Bridgestone Arena literally the night after Survivor Series. And, of course, you can still grab your tickets right now. Bridgestone Arena, the box office, WWE.com. How excited are you to return to Nashville for Monday Night Raw?
I'm very excited. I remember years ago, we did a live event, an NXT live event in Nashville. And it was one of my favorite live events we've ever done. The Nashville crowd was absolutely electric, absolutely insane. Nashville has some of the best wrestling fans in the world. So to be able to come back there for Monday Night Raw now in a huge, big arena, we're very pumped about it.
And it's exciting because, it's been a minute since WWE has been in Nashville. And, it's been a minute since you've started a tag team with a familiar person who you are back together with, DIY. Now, I do have a question because as a duo that defines what tag team wrestling is all about, what do you and Tommaso have to accomplish as a reunited threat to the tag division on Monday nights, aside from, of course, the obvious winning the WWE Undisputed tag team titles?
Yeah, that's the goal, right? I know it's funny. Me and Tommaso started in NXT 8 years ago at this point, and our goal, we always talked about it. Like, we loved our run in NXT. We wanted to stay there forever, but we always talked about what would happen if DIY was on Monday Night Raw. And a lot of fans wanted that too. And we're kind of living in that reality now where DIY is on Monday Night Raw, and we want to really see how far we can take this thing. We've obviously had our ups and downs throughout the years. Very lightly. We've had our ups and downs throughout the years, but it has ultimately brought us closer together. And I don't think there is a tag team or a unit that has gone through what me and Tommaso have, both on screen and off screen. We are closer than we've ever been, and we are excited to show the world what we're capable of.
For sure. And it's exciting because I know a lot of people had been clamoring at that once things started getting, and you showed back up after that time period of where's Johnny going to be? Is he going to go over here? Is he going to go over here? You were teasing it as well, playing to the fans. And then you show up back at WWE, and I don't want to be that guy that puts this out there. You talked about there was a little past between you and Tommaso. In the back of your mind, do you think that he doesn't try to stab you in the back of the again? Or
I hope so.
do you think like
it doesn't feel very good every time? I promise you.
Right. It's got to be in the back of your mind as when you're walking through that curtain. You're like, could this be the same thing? What happened with NXT when he turned on me? Do you think this go around he won't betray you? Like, what makes you think that this time?
So I do feel like we are at completely different parts of our life. Obviously, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, we both started together. When we signed in NXT, me and Candace, we all moved. Me, Candace, and Tommaso, we all moved to Orlando. We lived together in a small apartment. Literally, me and Candace got married, moved to Orlando. Me, Candace, Tommaso all lived together in a small apartment for probably a year. We grew together. And here we are. We didn't know how long we were even going to be there. And here we are now, 8 years later, where I feel like we're at such a different part now, because now I'm a dad. Tommaso's a dad. Like, literally, like, it feels like it's dad IY more than DIY. It feels like we're at a different part of our life. And do I think he's going to turn on me again? I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I turned on him too.
It's true.
So maybe it's in the back of his mind more than mine. But I feel like right now we're on the same page, and we really want to use our collective forces to try and make this run the best run it possibly could be.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun. And I will tell you this, that people that come on this show go on to win gold. So you're in pretty good hands for y'all to win that tag team title, or maybe one of the titles behind me, the United States Championship up there. Maybe that could be in the run.
I will say the tag team title behind you is my favorite tag team title.
It's the best one. I wish that they would bring that back. If they could bring back the old belts, bring that one back. Please.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Survivor Series right around the corner, and it's also War Games as well. As someone who has been in a War Games match, kind of walk us through how brutal of a match that is, and how can one prepare for that kind of match?
Oh, it hurts. It hurts a lot. How do you prepare for War Games? I don't know that you can. I think you kind of just got to go in there and throw caution to the wind, and be willing to accept that the next day you may not be able to walk very much.
Tell them you need a day off.
Yeah. That's so the when I did War Games literally is when my contract was expiring, so I knew the next day I probably wasn't going to wrestle, so I could throw caution to the window. I want
do whatever you want.
Yeah, I was going to be off for a while dealing with the baby stuff, so I was like, okay, I'm going to be gone for a while. But on their side of it, they're probably not going to be dealing with that. But just be prepared that you are not going to go into that cage the same way you come out. Like, you're going to be a different person after War Games.
Oh man, it's going to be fun. Of course, Survivor Series is coming up on Sunday, and Monday Night Raw. The Raw after Survivor Series, of course, will be in Nashville at the Bridgestone Arena. You can still grab tickets, Bridgestone Arena box office and WWE.com. Now, I do want to get your take on this because, over the years, we've seen celebrities get in the ring. Recently, two of the biggest stars in the world, Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, both have stepped in the ring, exceeded expectations. Why do you think that is? Because you look in the past of other celebrities that jumped in, they've kind of taken like a spot here or done something here, but not as much as Bad Bunny and Logan Paul have done.
Yeah, so I think it goes solely from Bad Bunny is a huge wrestling fan. Logan Paul, I believe, was a huge wrestling fan growing up. And they also are really, really athletic, and that helps a lot. I always point to Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee, huge wrestling fan, athletic freak, just had such a great mindset. And that's kind of what it all comes down to as well. If you come into pro wrestling and you have a great mindset, if you love this, genuinely love this, you want to be great at it, and you're athletic, I think those are the three traits that are really going to help celebrities and really have already helped celebrities. I think those guys have gone above and beyond. And when you point to celebrities that have been successful in what we do, I think those three stand above and beyond. And they've just set the bar so high for everyone else.
Absolutely. And, speaking of Logan Paul, and of course, he's the current U.S. champion, which some people on the IWC, I mean, you've seen their responses. They got upset with Logan Paul getting the title, especially some of them saying he's a, quote, part-timer. What are your thoughts on Logan Paul becoming the U.S. champion? And is that something maybe, if the tag team titles aren't a thing at the moment, or it is, would you like to challenge Logan Paul for that U.S. title?
Look, I'm always about, the U.S. title, Intercontinental title, tag team titles. That's always in the back of my mind. Obviously, the World Heavyweight title, always in the back of my mind. Logan Paul, I will say this, he is a fellow Cleveland guy. We're both in the same area. So I do appreciate, I will say this about Logan Paul. Logan Paul has taken that United States championship everywhere he has gone. And he has gotten so many new eyes on that United States championship. And at the end of the day, he has been, you want to say successful, whatever you want to say about it, he has put his all into our sport. He has had incredible matches
Yeah.
Like, he's had some awesome matches. People don't want to say it because he's Logan Paul or whatever. He's absolutely killed it. And now he's taking the United States Championship places that he wouldn't normally be. There's new fans that are seeing what we do. And that is what we're all about. Getting new fans in the door, getting new eyes on our product. So hopefully you come for a Logan Paul, but you leave for a Johnny Gargano. I mean, that's what I'm hoping at the end of the day. So I think he's doing a great job.
You leave with a DIY shirt at the end of the night. That's what it is.
Get one. Dude, shop. Fanatics.
Exactly. And of course, I'm going to go back to it real quick. Thinking about this ahead of time, you said Dad IY. Can we have like a Father's Day Dad IY t-shirt?
That's what I was saying. I said that earlier. Like, literally, like, if it feels like Dad IY as a Father's Day fanatic shirt just writes itself.
It does.
Come on, give me the money. Come on, let's go.
WWE PR people, fanatics, I know you're watching this. Get that shirt done next year. I know you're a very busy man. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to kind of briefly talk about this because you look at the rosters, the Raw roster is stacked, the Smackdown roster stacked, as well as the NXT roster is stacked. As someone who spent time on the NXT roster and brand, what do you think of the current roster and who stands out that you think, man, I want to have a match with them?
So I think the obvious answers anyone's going to give nowadays, it feels like they've really kind of jumped forward, is Carmelo and Trick Williams. I think they have done absolutely fantastic with their stories and what they've been doing. Another guy, Wesley, I'll say Wesley has done absolutely fantastic as well. There's so much great talent in NXT. Literally, I watch the product every single Tuesday night. People are going to think because I'm not a part of that brand anymore, I don't care. But literally, like, NXT will always be in my blood. It's always going to be a place that I deeply, deeply care about and something I keep track of every single week. I'm a viewer every single Tuesday night, I promise, and I enjoy what they're doing out there. I feel like they're hitting their stride. They're having absolutely fantastic television. And obviously, I'd be remiss not to mention Ilya as well. Ilya Dragunov has absolutely been a great NXT champion. I was at the Performance Center, I believe, about a month ago, and I told him that face-to-face he has absolutely taken that mantle and he's carried it very, very proudly. He's done some unbelievable work, and there's a lot of guys there that I'd love to get in the ring with eventually.
Oh man, I mean, just thinking of Johnny, maybe we do a DIY versus Carmelo and Trick.
I mean, it feels like I feel like that could potentially happen on the line. Obviously, I had a run in. I had the picture on my desk right here, actually, of me and Dexter when we did the haunted house thing.
Oh yeah,
the title, and there is Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes down there as well. So we have had a few run-ins, but DIY versus Carmelo and Trick would be good as well.
Oh, that would be fantastic. That would definitely bring the house down for sure. Of course, WWE Monday Night Raw returns to Nashville the night after Survivor Series. Again, you can grab tickets at WWE.com. I wouldn't be a reporter, I guess, journalist, if I didn't ask the question. Of course, the IWC is buzzing about Survivor Series, and one particular person who you probably know who it is might show up, might not show up. If said person, CM Punk, showed up at Raw or Survivor Series, what would that mean of him like coming back into the company, for the company, with every eyes already on the brand?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many eyes currently on WWE television. Obviously, every little bit helps. I mentioned earlier how Logan Paul is taking that United States Championship all over the world with him and getting new eyes on products. Whatever, I feel like at the end of the day, whatever is going to get more eyes on WWE television, that's the best move possible. Whoever that may be, whoever they bring in, whatever eyes they bring in, I'm all for it.
Right, for sure. And I mean, there's a lot of eyes on it right now, especially with my 6-year-old. I mean, kids are watching it. It's getting enjoyable. And, speaking of kids, my 6-year-old loves wrestling. He's got a wrestling ring set up over here, one of the big actual size wrestling rings and toys. I will tell you that normally when I do these interviews with wrestlers, if I have something of theirs, I put it behind me.
Yeah.
Well, I had planned on having you up here because I have this signed by your wife.
Yeah, I love it.
I have one. Well, excuse me. I had one signed by you. My 6-year-old decided he needed another wrestler for his organization, so he ripped the entire box that you had signed.
Wow!
And now you're sitting over here, actually in the ring, and I'm looking at it over there. So,
which one is it? Which figure was it?
It's the basic figure one.
Okay.
The one of your first ones, because
so it's a basic then. It's not an elite then. So
not an elite. So
okay.
I've got to get the elite next. So
this one. See, I have one right next to my. There you go. See?
Yes. So hopefully I could find one between now and when Monday Night Raw comes around. And if you're around, I'll get you to sign it and we'll throw it back up there.
The deal. Love it.
Perfect. Well, Johnny, again, I don't want to take up too much of your time. It's an honor to have you on the show, man. Real quick, one last thing. Is there anything you want to tell everybody that's watching or listening to this right now?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys very much. Obviously, Nashville, you guys have some of the best wrestling fans in the world. I can't wait to see you guys on Monday Night Raw. Keep supporting DIY, keep supporting me, keep supporting Candace, keep supporting professional wrestling, because at the end of the day, that's all that matters.